Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, and thank you all for joining. We're going to get this live stream kicked off momentarily. Once again, we're going to be going over the content on the introduction to credit. I'm going to be answering any questions that you guys have, anything that you would like to know about credit, anything that you are interested in, anything that would make you begin to think about your credit score, um, and building your credit score and how that can be of benefit to you. So, once again, stay tuned for this. This is going to be a great live stream. We're going to be bringing you guys out all of those secrets as well as going a little bit more in depth in them for you guys. Um, as subscribers and as viewers, I just want to thank everyone, as I always do, for being a part of this, um, being of a piece of the puzzle and being there to help us grow this channel. So let's go ahead and get started today. Being patient with us. Today, like I said, we're going to be talking to you to look forward to when you're first starting off your credit report and some of the things that we didn't really touch on in that intro to credit video, a little bit more specifics, as well as some review of the material that was in the intro to credit video. Um, I think that it's important to always be available to answer those questions that are asked by you guys as to what everything is, what everything means, and how these things are going to affect you and your credit score. As your credit score is extremely important to you being able to have access to many, many different things that could be life changing for you. Um, so being able to be a part of that and be of assistance to anyone is always, you know, great to me. I'm always grateful for um, having that opportunity with you guys. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has given me that opportunity to be a part of their credit repair journey. So let's go ahead and get started. One of the biggest things that you know I didn't really hit on in that intro to credit video that I realized needed to be talked about because it was a question brought up to me after the video was authorized user trade lines and how they play a part in you building your credit. And I just want to continue to reiterate that if you're building your credit and you're trying to figure out what you need to build your credit, you need to remember that you have to have something primary before you can build something secondary. If you do not have a foundation, you cannot build a house. You can build one, but since it's not built on a strong foundation, it's just going to fall right over. All right. And that's a big part of credit is a lot of people try to rush to build their house. They don't let their foundation, get formed properly. They're not letting it sit, or they just may not even build that foundation. So by not building that foundation, by not having that foundation, what you're really doing is you're in turn cutting yourself short. Um, you're you're causing yourself issues where you're not able to grow. You're stagnant because you're constantly running inquiries. You're constantly looking to find all these different accounts, to find all this different information, and it's just not working no matter what you're trying to do because you're trying to make that shortcut. You have to have some type of primary trade line to begin. You have to have some type of initial account to begin building credit. Now, I'm going to recommend a secured credit account as being your first account because using a consumer finance account is actually going to be a problem for you because that consumer finance account is going to actually, in the long haul, be showing up on your report, and it's going to be showing on your report as a consumer finance account, which can cause banks not to want to approve you. It can cause you issues when you're applying for things down the line. So I just personally do not recommend starting off with consumer finance accounts. Now, you get those secured accounts, they're bank issued, you're building a relationship with that bank, use the minimum deposit, get them built up, use that secured card, use that secured loan, and build from there. Now, once you have these secured products, it's amazing because you can go straight from a secured product into a unsecured product. Now, of course, it's going to take some time. It may take 3 months. It may take 6 months. Depending on the bank, it may even take a year. But going into unsecured products, now you're opening doors for opportunity. And these unsecured credit cards are going to come from a multitude of different banks. Rather, you're dealing with, um, smaller unsecured lines or larger unsecured lines. You're going to be building your credit history. And as you get more lines, you're going to be able to build up your credit report faster. And as your credit report builds and grows, it's going it's going to allow you to be able to step up to that next level. So, like I'm saying, like I was saying, get those starter accounts, get those secured lines. Don't jump yourself into an annual fee card that you're going to have to close down the line. Don't jump yourself into a consumer finance account that you're going to have to close down the line. Get a primary, get a secured account, or get something that, no credit check, no annual fee, like Grain or something, and use that line of credit to leverage you into unsecured credit. If you're using something that is not bank issued, which I don't recommend, but if you're starting out with something like Grain, go ahead and as soon as you have that opportunity, take 2, 3 months and jump from Grain or kick off right into a bank issued unsecured card so that now you have a primary trade line that's unsecured coming from a bank. And that's going to allow you to be able to build your initial credit profile. I see we got some people coming in. I want to thank you to everyone. Give a thank you to everyone who's joining. Go ahead and say hello in the chat. Welcome, welcome to the stream. But once again, now you've built up your primaries. Now that you have those primaries and you have some history, now you can start looking for authorized user accounts because many banks now and many credit unions and lending institutions, they're going to look at your credit report and they're going to check for both primaries and authorized users, but they're going to check those primaries to make sure that you have them available to see your actual credit worthiness. All right, we got Miss Barbara Maltz being here, says hello, 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 welcome. Thank you for joining. Like I said, anybody in the stream, feel free to go ahead and say hello. Thank you for watching. But once again, you want to build those primary lines first. Once you've built those primary lines, then you go for your AUs. You also want to make sure not only do you have those primary lines, and not only do you have those authorized user lines, but that you also have enough income for the bank that you're trying to get financed through. So keep your debt low, keep your income high. That's the rule of the game. No, I'm not telling you to lie. I know there's a lot of people who say, oh, I'm not telling you to lie. But no, I'm not telling you to lie. What I'm telling you to do is genuinely either increase your income or aggressively begin paying at your debt to decrease your debt. And if that is not something that can be done immediately, look into other things that you can do to guide yourself towards that pathway, as well as using those little tips and tricks that I throw out there. So if you're over 21, use household income. Household income is going to allow you to drop your DTI, which will allow you to, in turn, get more credit. And now, once you've got more credit, you can move forward. Let's see, we got Passport Profit in here. Says Nigel, keep going no matter what. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for joining the stream. But once again, you just want to continue to build those primary lines, have those authorized users if possible. Try to find people that are going to give them to you for as cheap as possible or free. I really don't recommend paying for AUs because a lot of banks now don't even recommend or don't even utilize them in your reports, or if they do, they play a much smaller factor. So your best bet is to find a family member or someone who can offer them to you, um, as well as to get your actual primary report rolling. Now, the next thing that you need to do is figure out what you are trying to increase your credit score for. And I recommend that you guys do this really before you even start building your credit. Because if you know what you're building your score for, it helps so much when it comes to building your credit. Because now, if I know that I'm building my score for a car or for a home, I can start focusing on installment credit. I can start focusing on showing the banks that I can pay installments, that I can pay them on time. I want to be able to show them that I can properly manage installment credit, because that's what's going to help me get into a home. As well as I want to have this installment credit paid quickly and on short terms, because I want the bank to see that I am capable of paying these payments and that I will pay them on time quickly, as well as that I'm keeping my debt to income ratio low, and that I'm not a huge risk, and that I'm not just out here applying for credit, applying for credit, applying for credit. You want to show the bank that you are not a risk to them. Now, the next thing that you want to look into, beyond just the installment credit, is making sure that you're keeping your utilization at none, yes, zero, or very low. You're going to have a lot of people out here telling you that you have to show utilization, and I continue to make sure that I put this in my teachings now, that people are not focusing on keeping debt. I think that's one of the worst things and worst information that's passed around in the credit card industry right now is that you have to keep debt. By you keeping debt just to keep a credit score, you are hindering yourself. Yes, utilize that card. Make sure that you don't allow that card to get shut down, but do not keep revolving balances to keep making the banks rich. It's not your job to make the banks rich. It's your job to focus on making you rich. Now, I'm not saying never hold a balance. I'm not saying that you can't hold a balance for your own benefit. If you're going to make 40% off of it and the bank is hitting you for 20%, then it's a no brainer. But if you're making nothing off of it and the bank is making 20% off of you, then there is a problem. Okay. So, no, you can't be stingy. You can't say, oh, I want all the money and I'm never going to pay interest. I'm never going to do any of these things because you will end up hindering yourself. You can't build too many banking relationships because if you have too many banking relationships, you're not going to be able to manage all of them and maintain all of them. And therefore, you're going to fall through the cracks somewhere. And you're either going to slip up on a payment or you're not going to have a strong enough relationship with the bank. And then comes the time when you need the money and you can't get it. Like I always tell you guys, borrow when you don't need it. So when you do need it, you can get it. Okay, when I go to my bank, I pay my bank and I take out loans and pay them back and I might use a little bit of interest. And then guess what I do? I take that money and I figure out, okay, well now I need to figure out how I can make this interest back. And because I have this money at my disposal, now I have to figure out how to make this interest back. And once I start working on that and figuring out how to make that interest back, now I'm really hustling. Now I'm really making money. And now I'm in a different ballpark than I was before. So that's what I want you guys to really hone in on is when you go to the bank, borrow not only when you feel like you need it, but borrow sometimes when you don't feel like you need it so that you can in turn get the money when you do need it. And so that you are forcing yourself to actually make that money and step up to the plate, hit the next level. That is going to be the most important thing for you is to step up to that next level. All right. If you're in the stream, make sure that you're hitting that like button. All right. Make sure that you guys are interacting with me. Any questions that you guys have about any of this content, please let me know. If there's anything that you're unsure of, any questions you had from that video, please let me know. All right. Or just any credit questions you have overall. It doesn't or questions, finance questions, life questions, whatever. Ask. Feel free to ask. Let's see, I talked about unsecured and secured. Okay, the other thing, a lot of us are unaware of the two main types of credit. So you have business credit and personal credit. Okay. Focus on building your personal credit for you as a person and your business credit for your business. Do not, I repeat, do not put your business expenses on you as a person. Even if you personally guarantee your business, it is different than putting business expenses on a personal credit card and vice versa. Keep your personal expenses off of your business cards. This is going to keep you in a much safer situation. It's going to allow you to build and grow. So just keep that in your head and continue to remember that. All right, what else did we have out here? Gotcha. That was the other thing from the video that I want to emphasize on. I'm going to emphasize on these points. Do not take credit and turn it into a false sense of achievement. Do not take credit and because I have a $10,000 credit card, I'm going to go buy a Gucci outfit. I'm going to go and buy a Louis Vuitton bag. I have this credit, so I'm going to go and do this or I'm going to go and do that. No, do not do that. Use your credit wisely. Use it for things that's going to make you a ROI, a return on income. Use it for emergencies. Use it to build and grow, but please do not use your credit to run backwards. All right. If it's not a business expense or it's not something that's going to personally make me money at this point in my life, I do not use my credit. Okay. Only when it's something that's going to build for me and help me grow to the next level. Make sure that you're aware of your credit factors, knowing your 6 credit factors, and make sure that you're aware of the standing of those 6 credit factors at all times, meaning that you have credit monitoring. So, whether it's Credit Karma, whether you're using Experian.com, no matter what type of credit monitoring you're using, make sure that you are monitoring your credit because you never know. A lot of people think, oh, well, I have bad credit, so my credit won't get stolen, or I'm repairing my credit so I don't have to worry about my identity getting stolen or anything like that. And you'd be surprised sometimes when you're down, that's the time that those identity thieves and people will come at you, try and hit you, and be able to take advantage of you. So just be cautious of that and think about that throughout whenever you're talking about your credit score. Make sure, or thinking about your credit score, make sure that you check it anytime that you have an arbitrary thought of your credit. Go and check your score, go and check your bank accounts, go and check your credit cards, and make sure that you're in the appropriate ranges, that everything is proper. Make sure you don't have random inquiries that you're unaware of. Anything, challenge it. Make sure that all of your stuff is correct and in proper order because it will eventually pay off. You are going to see where there will be a difference in your score. And it's important to make sure that those differences are caused by you, are caused by your credit going up, you allowing it to age, and it's something that you're doing and not an inquiry from an identity theft knocking your score down from them applying, or a bank running your credit and you were unaware or anything like that. Challenge that stuff, get that stuff removed off of your credit, and continue to move on and build and grow. All right. So, with all that being said, thank you guys for everyone who tuned in and was a part of this stream. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Thank you all for your support. If there is anything between now and the next stream that I can do to help you, please make sure to reach out. And as soon as I see your message, I will get back to you. And as always, thank you to everyone for all the support, and we will see you guys in the next video.